Welcome to a FireTail demo. We'll start in the FireTail dashboard, where we can see the total number of APIs, apps, and issues with our APIs. We also see global traffic volumes, the geolocation of the source of our API traffic, and traffic trends over time. Let's walk through the FireTail customer journey. Most customers start by solving the challenge of discovering APIs. FireTail starts with a set of pre-configured integrations into popular cloud platforms like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, as well as integrations into code repositories like GitHub. These are automated integrations using tools like CloudFormation for easy deployment. Customers of FireTail partner platforms like Wiz can also connect these tools to share data with FireTail. Through these integrations, FireTail finds APIs in production, as well as APIs being designed and built in code. Once deployed, these integrations will perform continuous discovery of all APIs to build a complete API inventory. FireTail then assesses these APIs against common API security frameworks like OWASP API Top 10, the CIS API Security Guide, MITRE Attack Techniques and Tactics, and other API security best practices as part of a robust API security posture management view. Customers can drill down to learn the cause of any issues identified, and then click through to documentation that explains the configuration error, outlines the compliance impact, and gives detailed steps for remediation. Customers can also opt in to external API scanning using the API design and location data from the API discovery steps to perform dynamic automated security testing of the API. This includes over 3,000 tests across key use cases, like API contract testing, fuzzing, and detection of CVEs and data leaks. Now let's look at FireTail's open source code libraries, available for most leading code languages used for modern API development and popular cloud platforms. These libraries ingest specification files and turn them into runtime protection, performing inline security checks that block all the leading attack vectors behind more than 90% of the API breaches to date. One other interesting feature of the FireTail code libraries is that they log centrally to the FireTail cloud service with application layer visibility and full request and response payloads with PII masked. This provides an effective centralized audit trail of API activity. These logs can be used on their own, or combined with a unified, normalized log stream of API activity that also ingests logs from network resource types across all major cloud providers, as well as common proxy engines and API gateways like Nginx and API 6. Logs are then analyzed, enriched with IP geolocation data, tagged with classifiers that describe problems and malicious indicators, and other characteristics that can be used to build detections. All logs show up in the FireTail dashboard and can be filtered. Customers can also set triggers and thresholds, essentially detections, to generate alerts that are most relevant to their organization, or send that information to a SIEM, ticketing system, or be notified by Slack, Teams, or email. Other response options include adding offending IP addresses to a WAF block list, initiating a custom action, or making outbound API calls. All API and contextual information is available for those integrations. Finally, let's look at API incident response. One particular challenge around APIs is that the attack vectors often manipulate application logic, and security teams need to collaborate with developers to eliminate vulnerabilities going forward. This was a key insight behind the design of FireTail's unique API incident response system. Using the contextual data that FireTail has, FireTail can generate information-rich incidents that include the name and location of the API in question, the cause of the incident, whether based on configuration, traffic, or code change, the application placement, which cloud account, VPC, and subnet, a full accounting of the data exfiltrated, the IDs of the developers who own or made last updates to the API, as well as the timestamps of those changes, what other APIs have been used by this attacker, who else has queried this API, and similar traffic patterns. We hope you've enjoyed this brief demo of the FireTail API security platform. If you have any questions, please request a demo at www.firetail.io or get started for free today.